This is just unbelievable, honestly. I never saw myself having to make a video like this, but it came to a point where I had to let you guys know of the scam that's going on and the guy behind the scam so it doesn't keep happening to a lot more people. What's going on, guys? My name is Al-malkawi, also known as Cashflow Entrepreneur. On this video, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. On this video, I'm gonna be exposing Ramzi Al-Malwaki. Well, not me, but actually the people that he scammed are going to be sharing their story with you guys and what actually happened. Before I do that though, let me give you guys some background information. I met Ramzi since like 2016, and at some point we were actually close friends. We actually met in a group chat that was supposed to bring like-minded people together, like-minded entrepreneurs together to support each other on their entrepreneurship journey. Well, after that, a few people from that group chat got really close where I and Ramzi were included, and we made a separate group chat where, you know, we would share things with each other. We would share the business ventures that we were going into and, you know, just kind of like support each other. Some of you guys might even recall that Ramzi was the one that actually got me involved with BitConnect, in which at one point we made a video that we posted on my YouTube channel to give him more exposure out of good heart. Hence why so many people that he scammed came to me, because they found the YouTube video online that we had together after they sensed that they were being scammed and after actually looking up the kid's name. Long story short, Ramzi started doing things that I didn't think they were ethical, such as posting fake testimonials to get more sales for his course, posting things that everybody in the group knew that weren't true just to get more attention and make more sales, such as the time a few years ago when he actually made a post that he brought his whole family to Morocco, where he actually spent $9,200 and blah blah blah, which he knows and I know that that wasn't true. That didn't come out of his pocket, even if they spent that. Wanted to run a fake ICO when he was involved in the pump and dump groups, and many more things that I thought they were unethical. After I brought it to his attention, he actually blocked me from seeing his post on Facebook because he knew that I knew what was going on, just like he did to all the people that he scammed. And after this happened, after he blocked me from seeing his post, after he found out that I was going to expose him for doing those unethical things, we stopped being friends. Just around 2 weeks ago, I started having a bunch of people message me on Facebook asking me if I knew Ramzi and if I had any awareness of what was going on. So I obviously didn't, so they explained me what was going on, and everybody had the same story. So I interviewed 3 to 4 of them out of like 14 people that messaged me so they can tell you guys this story, so they can share with you guys their experience and what actually happened to them from their own words. And by the way, each of these people that you're gonna be watching sharing their story on this video were scammed from ranges of $2,500 to $5,000, and that includes everyone else that did not come out of the interview, because literally it was the same scam to each one of them. So I'm gonna let them speak for themselves so you can judge what happened by your own intelligence. All right, guys, so in this video I have one other person that also fell into the Ramzi scam. So let's just get started so you can share your story out there with everybody so they know what happened and what type of person Ramzi is. So how you doing, man? Can you please start off by telling us your name?
Hi, my name is Ajmal Khan.
Where are you based off?
I'm in Keighley, UK.
Sure. My name is Alex, and I live here in the United States, DC area.
My name is Azrael Fernandez.
Fuquay Crawford.
Awesome. So can you tell us, how was it that you met Ramzi?
Well, I met Ramzi through a social media platform called Facebook about over a year ago. He was doing some, I think it was entrepreneurship, drop shipping, and Bitcoin stuff on his page. And he showed, he pretty much showed how he was doing very well in those areas. And at one point, I purchased one of his programs for the Bitcoins, which I didn't end up using after all. So, I mean, I've had a good, I would say, relationship to a certain point with Ramzi as a trustworthy guy.
I came across Ramzi on Facebook. At the time, we were promoting a drop shipping course.
I don't quite remember how I met him in the very beginning. I think he was doing like a Bitcoin or BitConnect type course maybe a year ago, a little bit longer than that, and I added him to my friends list. And I think that's how it started.
He was posting some things that he was doing on his Facebook regarding an online VGO casino, and he was posting results of how he was doing with that business. And me and Ramzi, we've been friends on Facebook for a good while, ever since the whole cryptocurrency wave. And going on Facebook, I would see that he'd be posting results of his bank account, of him getting notifications from his online casino, of how how many people were putting money into his website, and it caught my interest because this was a very, very new industry that I hadn't been hearing anybody talk about, so it piqued my curiosity to reach out to him and ask him, hey man, like what's this about, what's this business, are you mentoring people?
Now, just tell us in your own words, explain to everybody, how was it that Ramzi scammed you from the beginning to the end?
Yeah, so I know that maybe 6-7 months ago he was, I don't want to say he was promoting, but he was showing how he was making money with an online casino, and how he was getting paid daily from this online casino. So I sent him a message and I asked him a little bit more about it.
He told me, he was only going to be teaching a couple of people, that he's not really trying to make it, that much out there. Like he's not really trying to teach a lot of people, but he was willing to teach me, So one of the first things he had mentioned to me was to reach out to his developer who is on Skype. And he mentioned, here's a Skype ID, reach out to him and tell him, that Ramzi and I got connected. And then basically he wanted me to tell him that he wanted me to start an online jackpot casino.
It was going to be an investment of $2,500 to $3,000, which I didn't have at the moment. So I kind of stepped back for a little bit, and then I reached back out to him sometime over the summer, and I told him, hey, I have the money, blah, blah, blah. And then I actually started working with him on that beginning of September, where he mentioned that he would charge 5% of what the casino would make, the online business would make as soon as it started running, but that I would need to come out of pocket $2,500 to get his developer to create the software for this business. So we agreed to that, and the first payment was $1,250 to be sent to him directly via his bank account from my bank account.
So you sent it to him by itself?
Correct, through Zelle, yeah.
Directly, but it was directly to him. It wasn't to his developer. It wasn't to Brad. It was to Ramzi, right?
Directly to him, so he could take care of the cost that the developer would charge. So I sent the money directly through him. I have my bank statements with his information.
Okay.
And in 3 weeks, the developer was supposed to complete the project and send it back. Once the project was complete, I sent the remaining balance to Ramzi, which was another $1,250. At that point, I was not given any software or anything. The next thing Ramzi told us to do was he gave us a list of tasks that we needed to do before we could launch. We completed those tasks, or I completed those tasks, and from that task, it was another task of, opening up a page, Instagram page, and started to get followers on there. It was kind of a hard task because,
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, that it was like he basically gave you guys impossible tasks to make, and
pretty much. So, I kept reaching out to him, and at one point the messages were getting not harder, but they were getting less. Like he was less active on his messenger and replying back.
Originally, he told me the designer, he wanted half the money up front, half the money once he'd done half the work. So I transferred the money through somebody called Brad's Mastery Course.
Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Brad is Ramzi's real life best friend. So you guys can start connecting the dots as you guys watch this video.
And then they said that was for once the front end of the online casino was done. So once that was done, I got a video showing what looked like the front end of online casino. So then I sent the second payment. Ramzi tried to get me to send it by Western Union to him direct, but Western Union declined.
To his house directly, right?
To his bank account, to a bank account.
Oh, to a bank account.
Yeah, Western Union declined it. They said it could be a scam. So then, begrudgingly, he took the second payment through Brad's mastery course again.
All right, so the first one was through Brad Mastery course. The second one, he tried getting it through Western Union because you can't really track it after you send it through Western Union. And since that didn't go through, then the second one, he had to send it through Brad's Mastery course PayPal account again. Now, keep in mind, so just a question, real quick. He was the one, Ramzi was the one to send him the money through Brad, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it all on Messenger. Everything was what we spoke about was all through Messenger, so it's all on there. And this was in May of this year.
Okay. So what happened ever since May? What did Ramzi tell you about the online casino that you didn't really log into the website or anything like that?
First of all, he told me to open an account with GoDaddy and get a name for the casino, which I did. Then it was to get a logo from Fiverr from a designer, which I did. I passed that on to the designer who was Galdin, and he then asked for the logo, which I gave him through Skype. Then they gave me 10 steps to follow and to do. He said, once you've done the 10 steps, we can launch the casino. The 10 steps I started in approximately June. To this day, I never got them completed because they were impossible to complete.
So he mentioned to me that he charges $2,500 that he accepts via Bitcoin, or I believe it was PayPal. However, I don't have PayPal, and I don't have Bitcoin either. So from there, I told Ramzi, hey man, like, do you have any Bitcoin you can send to him, because I don't have cryptocurrency. So from there, I had actually
Now let me stop you right there. Ramzi actually recommended this guy to you because supposedly, he was either in a partnership with Ramzi or he did some work with Ramzi before and it went well. So Ramzi was the guy that recommended that guy to you, right?
Every person I've ever been involved in this whole thing was recommended by Ramzi.
Okay. All right. So keep on going now.
Yep. So I had went ahead and Zelled Ramzi $1,250 for him to pay the developer. Now,
so pause. So you sent Ramzi, not the developer. You sent Ramzi $2,500, where he was supposed to pay the supplier. So you sent it to Ramzi for Ramzi to quote pay the supplier. Correct?
Right.
All right.
Yep. Because I didn't have the cryptocurrency, so I sent him $1,200 in the beginning, and he never showed me proof that he sent it to the developer. I was doing in good faith that he was actually delivering the money to the developer, and then the developer was like, hey, I received the money, I'll go ahead and start working on your website, and it should take about 3 to 4 weeks to complete. Well, throughout that time, just waiting for the website to be finished, Ramzi had a whole list of things that I needed to do to get started, just to kind of learn the niche, learn the business, and just educate myself. So doing that for the whole month, and then once that month was over, the developer reached out to me again and said, hey, the website's completed. Here's your login just to kind of view the website. And he showed me a video. He sent me a video. He didn't give me access, but he showed me a video of the back end of what it would look like.
And he said that for basically $2,500, he knew a developer who developed his casino would develop mine. And basically he said for, I think, 5% a month, which I thought was really cheap, he would show me how to get my casino up and running as far as advertisement, getting it out there, and basically that for 5% a month. And I was like, okay, that's a good deal. Yeah.
All right. So do you ever send him the money, or did he tell you to send it to someone else? And who was that person?
I never sent him the money. he told me that the developer wanted it in in Bitcoin instead of.
Now, for those of you that don't know out there, Bitcoin, when people request payments from Bitcoin, they're either not in the United States or it's just a way to kind of like not track the transaction. Like it's very, very hard to track like the Bitcoin transaction. So usually when people want to scam you, they would definitely either ask for payments either in Bitcoin or some type of currency that can't really be tracked as much as like money, like dollars.
Correct. So let me say, before I sent him the money, usually I'm kind of skeptical of doing things like that. But as far as Ramsey goes, I kind of thought, and this just kind of shows you never know who you're talking to. I just kind of thought he was a up and up guy. I asked him numerous questions. He answered them right away. He just seemed very sincere about that. So I kind of thought he was, sincere with actually showing me how to get into this business. I didn't quite feel him as scamsy or trying to get over. Usually when somebody says Bitcoin, yeah, I don't even want to deal with it. But I kind of thought that, okay, I'll give it a try. So it didn't actually go to him. I think it went to a friend of his named Brad or something like that.
So Ramsey, so just to get this clarified, Ramsey told you to send the payment to his friend Brad on PayPal. That's the thing is like Brad Mastery Course, something like that, correct?
Now keep in mind this has been like almost 6 months ago. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it went to some mastery course. I could bring it back up to my PayPal, and then that person sent the money to this developer. Quote developer.
Yeah. So after the website was finished, I asked him, what's the next steps? I have the website done. He said, your next steps are two things. One, to get whitelisted on opskins.com, which opskins is basically the whole mediator between, you and the website and players who actually, where they can buy skins on opskins and then gamble them on your website, and vice versa, how you can get paid and cash out to your bank account.
Yeah.
Now, because you need to get whitelisted, that just basically allows you to actually perform large amounts of transactions without getting flagged. Now, it's almost impossible to get whitelisted nowadays with a new account because, OP Skins doesn't even give you a reason as to why you're not allowed to get whitelisted or why they don't whitelist you. But it's very, very hard. So the other thing was to build my Instagram account. I've been doing, and I was successful with. Now, Ramsey was like, you still need to get a whitelisted OP Skins account because you can't launch without it. It's too risky. So for the longest time, I was searching, how can I get a whitelisted account? I tried having one of my brothers, he tried to get whitelisted. They denied him as well. I tried finding people if they were giving any away, if they were selling any, but that was just like, I got no luck there. And then, finally, a couple months later, I hit up Ramsey and I was just checking in how things are going. And he told me, one of his best friends in real life, he launched one of his online casinos. And I asked him, did he have the same problem getting whitelisted? And he told me yes. And I said,
now, what was the name of that person?
He didn't tell me the name.
He didn't tell you the name? All right, so for many other students, for many other people that got scammed by Ramsey, I've heard that person was Brad. Now, for those of you who don't know who Brad is basically Ramsey's best friend in real life, and they both used to run a pump and dump Telegram group, and they both used to run it. So I guess they have a history of business or scamming people together. So keep on going now.
That's news for me. That's crazy. So basically, I said, how did he solve that issue? And he told me he bought whitelisted accounts from this guy on Skype again named Dominic. Now I said, hey, can you ask your friend to give me his username on Skype so I can reach out to him? And he said, he said, sure. And, then he'll get back to me. So a couple hours later, he reached out and said, here's a Skype ID. And I went ahead and reached out to him. When I messaged Dominic on Facebook, on Skype, he told me that, who sent you? And I said, Ramsey did. And I said, I'm looking to buy whitelisted OP Skins accounts. And, he said, I charge $500 a piece. But, with the last guy, I did a deal. I did $1,000 for the 3 accounts because you need 3 accounts to launch a casino. And, I said, okay, let's do it. So he said he accepts Bitcoin or Tether. Now, one of my Coinbase, account, and I purchased $1,000 of Bitcoin, and I sent it to his wallet. Now, I waited hours and hours and hours, and sure enough, the transaction had 6+ confirmations on the blockchain. Everything was well with the transaction. However, when I asked him if he got it, he said no, he still hasn't received it yet. He sent me a screenshot of his wallet, but it was probably just a random wallet and it showed nothing in it. And, sure enough, I looked on the transaction on the blockchain and it showed that it went in his account. But because he said he didn't get it, I tried disputing it with my bank. And, it was funny because I convinced he didn't get it because the transaction on my bank was on hold for 4 days, then just was wiped on my account, and I had the $1,000 back in my account. So therefore, I'm thinking, hey, he must have been truthful in saying that he didn't receive it. So again, I purchased another $1,000 of Bitcoin to try again, but I told him, hey, I'll send you 1/3 of the transaction instead, just to make sure you get it. So I sent him $333 worth of Bitcoin, and again, he said he did not receive it. So the other $666 I transferred to another account, and I waited a while to see if the transaction would come back in my bank account, and sure enough, again, it did. So I'm thinking, he must be really truthful that, he didn't receive the money, and the money's going back in my bank account. Now, for the final time, I said, let's try Tether instead. So I sent him $2 of Tether, and he said, yes, I got it. So I'm thinking, oh, this is awesome. Like, he received it. So I went ahead and I purchased another $400 of Bitcoin. And when I went to go do that, I saw that Coinbase had taken $2,000 out of my account. So I'm thinking, oh, man,
Wow.
something must be up here. But again, I really needed the accounts, so I went ahead and deposited another $400 of Bitcoin into my account, and that totaled $1,000 again of Bitcoin with the other $666 that I had. And I sent him $1,000 of Tether, and I looked up his wallet address, and I saw that it went in his account. Now, when I messaged him, I said, man, I sent you the Tether. It shows that you received it. He didn't read my message for a long time, but I looked up his wallet address, and I saw that $1,000 that went in his account, he took it out of his wallet address and sent it somewhere else. So I'm thinking, this guy's he's working with the money, but he's not messaging me. And then the next morning that I woke up and I saw that he read my message, he just blocked me on Skype.
So once the money was received, I guess his name is Gowden, whatever his name is. He said it would take probably 3 to 4 weeks to make this site for me. It took way longer than that. It took almost 8 weeks. And it was always there's bugs. I gotta fix them. I said okay. Finally, it was done. And once it was done, I was talking to Ramzi, and he gave me basically a list of things I needed to do before we could launch our casino.
Just like he did with everybody else.
So I didn't know about everybody else. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people he's working with, but as far as me, it was I needed to record and write down YouTube influencers that were doing Twitter influencers, Instagram influencers. It was a lot of stuff that it was more time stuff. Exactly. So once that was done, he was like, okay, now I need you to get 1,000 followers on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, that's going to be kind of hard. He was like, well, you can use this website, which will get you followers. As I was using this site, I was getting banned all the time on Instagram. It was like automation. So I would tell Ram, like, look, you're telling me to use this site, but they're banning me every time I add 20, 30 people. I'm banned for 3 or 4 days. And he's telling me, well, I don't understand. I was using it. It worked for me. And I'm like, well, it's not working for me. He was like, well, change the settings. That was, always change the settings. This went on for months. It took me basically 4 or 5 months to get 1,000 followers because as I did more research, Instagram was banning these automations. So it wasn't as easy before to get followers as it was 6 months ago.
Question: do you ever had access to the quote quote website that the quote quote developer made for you?
I never got access to it. When it was done, I went to the site and he told me this is how your site looks, but we're not going to talk to Ramzi first because we're not going to launch your site up until you're ready. So I never went on there and was playing with it, but I did see
A video.
I saw. No, he gave me like a password. He gave me a web link and a password.
All right, so for everybody else though, like this was a little bit different for him, but for every other student, basically he sent a video of that same site to all of them saying, all right, here's your website, this is what it looks like, but you can't log into it just yet because we're having problems and we have to fix bugs and so forth and so on.
Yeah, so one of the big things for me that I saw that was like, wow, this is the same with everybody, was, I asked guys, hey man, when your developer finished the site, what did he show you that it looked like? And for me and like 8 or 10 other people, they sent the same screenshot of what their website looked like. It was the same exact one. The developer, was making the same exact website. And funny enough,
God.
I had reached out to the guy and I was like, hey man, I just want to know, like, is your work unique? Like, do you make different websites for everybody, or is it the same one for every single person? And he said, no, my work is unique. I don't make the same for everyone else. It's individual to you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then when I started reaching out to people, they said, oh, this is what my front end looks like. And I'm like, that's what my front end looks like as well.
So when I tried to reach out to him, I looked at his Instagram profile Facebook profile, and I noticed that it was, I had been not completely blocked, but all his information was gone. So I reached out to him, and he replied back to me, was like, hey, if I don't reply back to you, it's, I have a life, I'm busy, so just chill. So anyways, I asked him, I was like, hey, did you block me? And he was like, well, if you were blocked, you wouldn't be messaging me right now. So, okay.
That's such a fucking lie, because he can block you on Facebook, but you can still get his messages on Messenger because it's a separate app. Come on, Ramzi.
Yeah. So then I went ahead and I looked, I went ahead and looked on Instagram at his Instagram page. It was no longer available. It was no longer available. His YouTube page has no content on it. I don't know if he deleted it all or what happened, but pretty much he kind of ghosted out. The developer ended up ghosting out too. So,
before I had I could see everything on Ramzi's Facebook account, and I was getting the post regularly from Ramzi. Now I can't see anything apart from the 4 mutual friends we have, and I don't get any posts from Ramzi now. And he hasn't answered the last 2 messages I've sent him on Messenger.
He has never responded back to me when I said, what's going on with I've heard that there's other people who's complaining about this casino thing that you started up. I got it right here. What did I say? I said, were you ever going to tell me that you've been ignored? Well, basically I told him that I said, you've been ignoring me for the past week, and I've been hearing things about you. I need you to explain yourself. I've been since then, I've been blocked, and he's never responded back.
Yeah, so, throughout this whole journey, towards the end, I had, looked at Ramzi's Facebook because I loved seeing results, and, how he was doing, because it was really motivating. And when I went to click on Ramzi's Facebook, I saw there was nothing there. There was no posts. There was nothing, no pictures, anything. And, I had reached out to Ramzi. I said, hey, man, what's going on? What happened, with your Facebook? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, your posts are gone, man. Like, what do you mean? What do I mean? And he said, oh, Facebook, has just been really distracting for me. I have big goals for quarter 4.
Oh my God.
I want to just focus. But don't get me wrong. I've made a lot of money, on my Facebook, just, advertising things in my eBay store and whatnot. But then I had reached out to one of the guys I had connected with who was also trying to launch a casino. And, he said, Ramzi told me that he got hacked on his Facebook. And I'm thinking, he got hacked, or he's been trying to take time away from Facebook?
Now, one question that I have for you, what happened after you confronted him about this?
Well, when I confronted Ramzi, as soon as you told me, I would say no less than 10 minutes after that, I immediately contacted him. He took a while to respond. And then he sent me some message, which it clearly looked like he had, copied and pasted it, I guess, from sending it to other people. The same remark. And after I talked to the other people, that I found out, another 10 individuals that I found out had been gotten scammed, they had all received the same message. One individual actually got his money completely back, and then some of us got 10%, which was what Ramzi agreed to. He was like, I'll send you 10% because it's not my problem. You know, I didn't scam anybody and stuff like that. You know, the typical.
So he was claiming that he didn't scam anybody because supposedly after the money reached his account, he sent it to his quote developer.
Correct.
Oh my God. So after you try to confront him about this, first of all, he never answered your message. He blocked you from seeing all his posts.
Yes.
And you just never heard back from him. No refund whatsoever. Nothing, right?
Prior to that, we was basically cool. There was no problems. Of course, I didn't agree with some of the stuff he was telling me to do. When I told him I've been hearing about this, it's rumors going on about you, I was blocked and I was never been responded to again.
So total, I'm out. Let's see. I've been paying the developer for the hosting, for the website hosting, for a good maybe 5 months now. So he said it's $50 a month for hosting. So, $250 plus the $2,500 to make the website, plus the $2,400 that I sent the guy for the whitelisted accounts. So all in all, I'm a little over $5,000.
Yeah, I would never have put him down as somebody who I thought would have scammed me. I followed him for a good over 2 years, and I liked the posts that he put out. They were positive. I would never have thought that he would have done something like this.
So what do you recommend for others going forward to avoid this from happening to them?
Well, what I recommend is, do your research. Do research. A lot of this stuff that, people are charging to do, you can actually go to YouTube and find the same information for free.
The best advice I can give is ask for the proof. You have to have proof. Ask for the proof.
I think if anybody says send BTC, that's a red flag right there.
We've just been brainstorming, and all in all, the end result is just know the person you're working with, and really vet them before you trust them with that kind of money. I would say do some research into their track record of how they were in this business, and if they've had other people that they've mentored and results that they've had, but not just directly by the mentor themselves, but actually reach out to the people who their mentor have trained. And, ask them, hey man, how was it, being mentored by this guy? What did you see? What results did you have? Because if anybody can post, fake results, anybody can, blow them up and make them what they're not. But it all comes down to honest opinions from individuals, and actually see, what their results were, not just, face value, what one person is saying. Because anybody can be lying.
The craziest part about him is that he hasn't fully refunded everyone, and he's convinced that he did not scam them. In his own words, they just failed to launch a business. The kid is so cynic that he told everyone that warned him about me exposing him on this YouTube video that he would make sure that he gets compensated for his emotional distress when he's done scammed over 15 people in ranges of $2,500 to $5,000. Guys, this is why I recommend you to do your research before you put your hard-earned money into any of these social media entrepreneurs' hands. Now, this is not to say that all of them are scammers, but a lot of them are. So do your research. Message people that have worked with them before. And most importantly, don't let these ad copies blind you, because at the end of the day, that's what they are, ad copies. And if you've seen from this video, it can be very, very fraudulent. And then you can make a decision upon your findings. Now, I would appreciate if you guys would share this video with your friends on social media so you help them avoid this from happening to them. It's just so messed up how so many people have to work so many hours at minimum wage to come up with enough money to invest it and to try to better themselves, to then just get scammed. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want you guys to know that I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me lately. And just so you guys know, it just means a lot more to me than you guys can imagine. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and just stay tuned for all the other videos that will be coming out this week.